As the last light disappears behind the mountains, the forest begins to change. The birds grow quiet. The wind becomes softer. Shadows stretch between the ancient trees. And high above the forest floor, inside the hollow of an old tree, two golden eyes slowly open. The owl is awake. While most creatures are preparing to sleep, his day is only beginning. He steps quietly onto a branch and looks across the darkening forest. He does not rush. He does not make a sound. He simply watches. The night belongs to those who know how to listen. His eyes can notice movement hidden beneath the darkness. His ears catch sounds that others would never hear. A leaf moving, a tiny footstep, a branch breaking somewhere far away. To us, the forest may seem dark and empty, but to him it is alive. He stretches his great wings and prepares to leave the safety of his tree. Soon he will disappear into the darkness, because when the sun goes down and the world becomes quiet, the guardian of the night begins his journey. The moon rises above the trees. The owl waits silently on a branch, watching the forest floor below. He is hungry, but hunger does not make him careless. He has learned something important from many nights beneath these stars. Patience often succeeds where speed fails, so he waits. Minutes pass. Then suddenly something moves beneath the leaves. A tiny sound. Almost nothing. But the owl hears it. His head turns. His eyes focus. For a moment, everything becomes still. Then his wings open. He leaves the branch without a cry. No warning. No loud beating of wings. He simply becomes another shadow moving through the darkness. His feathers allow him to fly with extraordinary quietness, helping him approach before his presence is noticed. The forest floor grows closer. The owl follows the sound. Tonight's hunt is not about cruelty. It is about survival. Every creature in this forest has a role, and every night brings another challenge. For the owl, survival requires patience, precision, and courage. And beneath the silver moon, he continues searching, because nature does not promise an easy life. It teaches every creature how to survive. There is something extraordinary about an owl in flight. You may see him, but you may never hear him coming. Across the moonlit forest, he moves between the trees like a shadow. His broad wings rise and fall gently. His feathers are specially adapted to reduce the noise created by flight. That silence gives him an incredible advantage. Below him, the forest continues as if nothing is there. Small animals move through the leaves. Branches sway in the wind. Moonlight touches the ground, and above them all, the owl passes almost unnoticed. But silent flight is more than a way to hunt. It is part of what makes him perfectly suited to the night. He does not fight against darkness. He belongs to it. Every feather, every movement, and every instinct has been shaped for this world. Humans often believe strength must be loud. We notice the roar. We notice the shouting. We notice the things demanding our attention. But nature sometimes teaches a different lesson. Some of the most powerful creatures move quietly. They do not need to announce themselves. True strength does not always make noise. Sometimes it simply spreads its wings and flies. What looks completely dark to us is a different world to an owl. From his branch, two enormous eyes search through shadows where most creatures can barely see. To human eyes, the forest at night can seem almost completely dark. But the owl experiences the night differently. From his branch, his enormous eyes search through the shadows. A movement between the grass. A shape beneath a tree. Something disappears behind a stone. Very little escapes his attention. His eyes are highly adapted for seeing in low light, helping him navigate and hunt when many other creatures struggle to see. But vision is only part of his remarkable ability. He listens. Sometimes the forest tells him more through sound than sight. He may hear a tiny animal moving beneath leaves before he ever sees it, so he waits, watching, listening, understanding the world around him. The darkness that frightens others has become his greatest advantage. And perhaps there is something beautiful in that, because darkness does not always mean there is nothing ahead. Sometimes our eyes simply need time to adjust. Sometimes we must become quiet enough to notice what was there all along. The owl does not fear the night. He has learned how to see through it. Hidden inside this old tree are tiny lives that depend on one thing, their parents returning. Deep inside the shelter, young owlets wait while their parents disappear into the dangerous night. Deep inside the shelter of an old tree, something precious waits. Tiny owlets, soft, fragile, and completely dependent on their parents. Their world is still very small. The walls of the nest, the warmth of feathers, the familiar sounds of their family nearby. Outside, the forest can be dangerous. Cold nights arrive. Storms move through the trees. Predators search for opportunities. But inside their shelter, the young owls are protected. Their parents work night after night to keep them fed and safe. The adults may travel through darkness searching for food and return again and again to their growing family. The owlets do not yet understand the enormous world waiting beyond their home. They only know that someone returns. Someone protects them. Someone gives them another day to grow stronger. Nature can be harsh, but it can also reveal extraordinary devotion. Protection does not always look dramatic. Sometimes it is simply returning home, again and again and again. Before little wings can learn to fly, they first need somewhere safe enough to grow. Soon, this little owl must do something it has never done before. Leave the safety of home. Its wings are growing stronger, and the world outside the nest is calling. The owlets are growing. Their soft bodies become stronger. Their wings become larger, and the entrance to their sheltered home suddenly becomes much more interesting. Beyond it lies an entire world. Trees, moonlight, wind, and endless darkness. Soon, staying inside will no longer be enough. The young owls must learn. They stretch their wings. They climb along branches. They watch the adults carefully. Every movement becomes a lesson. No long speech is necessary. Nature teaches through experience. A young owl must discover balance, distance, timing, when to hold on, and when to let go. At first, those little wings may look uncertain, but every attempt builds strength. Every mistake teaches something. One day, the branch that once seemed enormous will become only the beginning. The young owl will look into the open sky, and instinct will ask a frightening question. Are you ready? There comes a moment when protection must slowly become preparation, because parents cannot fly every journey for their children. Eventually, they must teach them to trust their own wings. Then, without warning, the peaceful forest turns dangerous. The moon disappears. The wind shakes the trees. Thunder rolls through the mountains, and the young owls have nowhere else to go. The forest changes without warning. Clouds cover the moon. The wind grows stronger. Branches begin to shake. Then the rain comes. For a young owl, the peaceful forest suddenly becomes frightening. Thunder rolls across the mountains. Water pours from the leaves. The familiar world becomes loud and unpredictable. But the owl does not abandon the shelter. The adult remains close to the young. Feathers become wet. The wind continues. Still they endure. Wild animals cannot simply close a door and wait for perfect weather. Nature asks them to survive whatever arrives. Cold, rain, hunger, danger. Every difficult night becomes part of their story. Eventually, storms pass. The thunder moves farther away. The rain becomes softer. A small opening appears between the clouds. Then moonlight touches the forest again. The young owl looks outside. The trees are still standing. The nest remains. Another lesson has been learned. You do not discover how strong you are when the sky is clear. Sometimes you discover it by surviving the storm. The tiny owl that once hid inside this tree is about to take the flight that changes everything. He stands at the edge of the branch. Behind him is the only home he has ever known. Ahead of him is the night. Time passes. The tiny owlets that once hid inside their shelter are no longer helpless. Their wings are strong now. Their eyes understand the darkness. The forest that once seemed enormous has become home. One evening, a young owl stands on a branch beneath the rising moon. Behind him is the place where his life began. Ahead of him is everything he has not yet discovered. He opens his wings and flies across the same trees his parents once crossed, through the same darkness that once frightened him. Now he is part of the night. Someday perhaps another generation will wait inside another old tree. Tiny eyes will open, small wings will stretch, and once again, an adult owl will stand nearby, watching and protecting them. The cycle begins again. Generation after generation, night after night. The forest remembers them all. The parents who protected, the young who learned, and the brave ones who finally opened their wings. The sun disappears beyond the mountains. The moon rises, and somewhere among the ancient trees, two golden eyes slowly open. The story ends here, but the night continues.